What's up, guys? This is the Virtuosa, one half of your Impact Wrestling Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. And go to the link, click below, subscribe to all the good stuff at TNAIWChannel Do.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. Cross the line in 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, my Impact fam? Welcome to episode 110 of the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. My name is Geoff, and alongside me again is the Joe Hendry to my dead guy in the back, clapping. It's Craig. Everybody, what's going on, buddy?
Yes, it's me. It's the MIC back.
It's been a while
again. It's been a very long while. Yes, I'm all good. It's 1 a.m., but I'm wide awake.
Yeah,
it's Impact.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about, a lot to get into this episode, a lot of wrestling, but it is 1 a.m. for Craig. This is going to be a low-key episode for us. It's a rainy, lazy Sunday here. It's a beginning of a Monday there. So we're going to have some fun. We got a lot to talk about, guys. Hopefully the chat lights up, give us some more to talk about, but we got the prediction board. We got your guys' comments. Hey, Io, Datila, everybody's and the whole fam's in there. We got a lot to talk about, and want to start by thanking, obviously, Io for getting the intro. Speaking of Io right there, killing it on Twitter, of course. Our promise to ourselves is one intro and one new poster or one new sign for Bound for Glory a week. This week is the Speedball Mike Bailey. It's not done yet. I got in an accident. It's going to take some time, but there's our Bailey sign. And then, of course, thank you to Deanna for that intro. Really cool as we head into Bound for Glory. We have some numbers. You guys see them. 3,000 or 4,000 is the goal for Twitter. 350 for YouTube. You know, though, we just do this one fan at a time, one friend at a time. It's to build not only this, but also to build Impact Wrestling. What's going on, Millard? Good to see you there, buddy. And also, of course, want to thank Lucha for last week. He'll be back right after Bound for Glory as well. And, of course, he'll be popping up a lot more. So, Craig, first, let's get everyone caught up with you. You're obviously doing Talking Bloody Nonsense. Getting back there. You have a show coming up this week. We want to talk about that. What you got coming up a little bit, I guess, Victory Road. But you have a guest on as well?
Yeah, we're working on getting the Booker Man, DOA, Alec Burnett back on to do that little preview of the review, of Victory Road with Nixon. And, pay-per-views, they're coming thick and fast. Bound for Glory 2 weeks away, so week after next will more likely be a Bound for Glory preview. Going into all that, it's been an interesting build up to Bound for Glory. Very slow, very lackluster, I guess. But I guess that's for another pod on another day. But it's
well, and real quick, and you just told me this literally off air. We want to send our love to Nixon, who unfortunately got injured last night's DOA show. If you want to, I'm sure that people find out Thursday, but want to send our love to him, and I had no clue whatsoever, so shame on us. But so of course TBN 4 p.m. EST, 9 p.m. BST every Thursday. Get you ready for Impact Wrestling. And we're obviously going to get into power rankings first, as we usually do, Craig. But we kind of don't want to skim over the Impact that was, right? I want to give us at least our grade. I'll give you your guys' grade, because we are going to talk a lot about Victory Road, and we do have a lot of comments from you guys. So, 36-45 A and B, with C right behind 18, surprisingly. No little D's, but that's what you guys thought of Impact on Access TV this previous week. So more of a B show for you guys. I would say the same for me. I know Craig and I were thinking of how to approach this and said, oh, what about 3 positives, 3 negatives? But then we just, so much wrestling in so little time.
too much.
But I know there's a couple that we wanted to get on, as well as say our grades. So, Craig, what was your grade for the episode, and what maybe stood out to you now looking back even past Victory Road?
far as a grade goes, I mean, I'd have to go B. Impact don't really. It's the most consistent product on TV right now, on the internet right now. But I mean, it was difficult to remember exactly what happened. The ladder match, Bhupinder and Myers. Bhupinder looking very good. Should have won it, in my opinion, but let's see what happens. I mean,
No, Craig. No. It made him look. It made him. Look. He took the not only proverbial step. He is past that green thing that we've been seeing and kind of ridiculed for a little bit. And not necessarily where he's at in his development, but where he was presented as being at by Impact. Oh, he's going to be the next this, the next, and it's just whatever. But I agree with you. I think this was a step up for him. I don't think he should win it yet. I think the lineage of this belt is more important, which is, I already made the joke about it, but maybe Joe Hendry. It seems like a made for hell matchup with him and Myers. And then obviously mentioning that Joe had another segment on this week. Your thoughts on it? Are you for this? Are you about this version of Joe Hendry? Hendry?
I'm all about it. Joe Hendry, obviously visa issues got in the way of his first run, and then I mean Joe Hendry is obviously, if you watch TBN, you know how I feel on Joe Hendry. Right. The guy's bulked up. He can wrestle. It's been 4 years since he last had a match in Impact Wrestling, and 2018 media kind of gets Eli Drake. That was the last match in Impact Wrestling. He's coming back, and hopefully gets a more of a chance, and not put in a team with someone who the audience didn't particularly care about, the American audience.
Yeah, and you're referring to Grado. I actually enjoyed Grado as what he was. The problem with Hendry is just it's already cheesy to begin with, and you add a Grado to it, it's like, holy shit. And I talked about this with Lucha, who shout out to everyone in there, by the way. T. Hughes just entered. Lucha's in there. Hi guys. Mention it. I think he looks great, bulked up. Obviously he could talk and be a character for Impact, but I want to see that the prestige of that group and that version of Joe Hendry to get me over. I know that he could probably win the DMC and go viral for some singing or some bullshit. I know that's probably the goal, but I'm happy to have him back. I'm gonna be patient, but baby daddy shit not working for me. The other thing, so the only other negative I really have, Iceman Intel was a loop from last week. They forgot to play new Iceman Intel, so it's not like never mind. And then I thought Aussie Open versus Motor City Machine Guns, which the negative was obviously they slipped it in there. Oh, this is for the Bound for Glory #1 contendership match. You already alluded to it. A little wonky of a build-up for Bound for Glory. I thought it would pick up steam. It's getting there. We got a lot of matches to talk about that were announced, but for whatever it was, Aussie Open versus Motor City Machine Guns, still a damn good match. And it obviously one of my huge positives from that episode. So let's see the results of that. Let's see. In honor of Nixon, I'll do the hood. The power ranking. Yeah, there's Craig. We're gonna check out the power rankings. Now, for you guys who want to make a difference, you write us at Burt Maclin 11, or you can write us at TNAIW channel. Contact us. You don't have to talk to us. You just go in the group, mute us, whatever. Put in your top 10 after every Thursday, before every Sunday at noon Eastern, and it's 1 through 10. Really simple. Try to keep the champions on there. We'll talk about that. Burt and Datila have a whole show about it. We'll plug that in a second. But the results here we'll go over. I thought they were pretty good, but they are a combination, and that's my little warning. It's a combination of Victory Road and Impact on Access TV for those who aren't familiar. So let's get to those power rankings.
Number 10, the HBAC Mia Yim. Number 9, DMC Brian Myers. Number 8, Bound for Glory Frankie Kazarian. Number 7, World Champion Josh Alexander. Number 6, Mickie James. Number 5, Bound for Glory Motor City Machine Guns. Number 4, Tag Team Champions Honor No More. Number 3, X Division Champion Mike Bailey. Number 2, World Champion Jordynne Graves. Number 1, Steve Maclin.
All right, Craig, I see you nodding along at some, looking wide-eyed at others. I think the glaring one is Josh at 7. He's the world champion. I look at it from a perspective of who is the man in the sense of who is the top dog of Impact Wrestling. I thought Jordynne had a big, showing this week, the champion we wanted this whole time. We'll get into that. And she's really planted her feet in this. The Juggernaut, I love that. I love that shit. But Maclin really did deserve it. I just think Josh should be a little higher. And I will say before I pass it to you that I feel like all 10 of these people definitely deserve to be on the power rankings. Just, I digress.
Yeah, everyone featured are on that list for a reason, because they had a great week. I think Mia Yim maybe should have been a little higher up, but
it's fair.
Maclin at number 1, fair. Josh at number 7. I do understand it. I've said it before on TBN. I feel like Josh is missing. He's there, but he's not really there. The booking man Alec Burnett said the chase is better than the rain, which it is. But Jordynne Grace, Jordynne's smashing it. It's arguably the best world champion on Impact right now.
I mean, that's fair. Between the two, I think you guys had the debate not too long ago. What could main event this Bound for Glory? Should it be Jordynne versus Masha? Which I still think Jordynne should take. Should it be Josh versus Eddie? And it's not a slight on that. Josh's reign is still great, but when you're a face, there's only so many places you can go as champion. You've got it. You finally got it. You have that victory lap. You beat some guys that you could shake their hand after. And we'll talk about that. There's some comments on that, and I think there's some options with that. But if you want to make a difference, write us at TNAIWchannel or at Burt Maclin 11, and then check out their show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST, 4 p.m. PST. Dates and times. All you guys all over the place. All right, but let's get into Victory Road. There's a lot to go over here. I thought it was a great show. We'll get to that in just a second. Is that gin or vodka? Just straight H2O, my friend. H2O. I wrote this down, and I generally kind of take notes as I just this is what happened instead of notes. Just so I have a skeleton to type here later. Why I don't look it up later, I don't know. It's an OCD thing. But one of my first things here is this just felt, and we'll start with the pre-show, but it felt like a TNA show. And I don't know if that's for better or worse, and I think it was a great show. There was just so many things that you're just like, oh man, this is such a, you had the debut of somebody or whatever with the, we're going to capitalize on the controversy bullshit. We had we ran out of time in the pre-show bullshit. We had some other things here and there, but it wasn't anything that made me like, I still would have gave this show a B+, and we'll get to that. But TNA is the first thing I have here, and it starts off with this, okay? And I know we'll get to someone who mentions it in comments, but the pre-show Bullet Club, first of all, Juice Robinson being back, man, so cool. These three guys fit very well together. I like the Good Brothers with them, but I just think this trio is pretty dope. And look forward to what's going on forward. But they defeat the Gut Check winners. And, Jason Hotch, I got them written down, Shogun, and Jack Price. So I want to give them their due. What I really like about this and what it felt very TNA-ish is we've always had guys that were on the cusp of making the roster. Maybe they were per date, we don't know. But they were always in the pre-show, and they would, and then eventually Just like I think NXT did a very good job of this a bit back as well, where it's like, oh, this is the continual, I won't say jobber, I hate that term, but this is continual enhancement talent, and they're working their way up, and then they get a gimmick or they catch on, they get a victory out of the blue, kind of 1, 2, 3 kiddish, and that, trajectory is whatever. So I really like this, man. We'll get to more on the gut check winners, but I thought this was a good start to the show. A little wonky with the who's the legal man stuff, but your thoughts on starting it with the Bullet Club?
Yeah, Juice being back is great. I'm so happy Juice is back in Bullet Club. Makes it, because when you look at Ace and Bay, even though they are Bullet Club, you still feel like it, for now anyway, they need a fully fledged member from Japan with them just for a little bit longer. You can use Hikuleo, but I think Juice being back with Ace and Bay is great. So I'm all for that. Pre-show in general, I didn't have any clue who was on the pre-show this episode. I said I was off social media for that entire weekend. I didn't know who was in the pre-show. But the pre-show, again, it did the job. It got you prepared, hyped for what's coming up on the main show, if you can call that, because the pre-show can be kind of, there's almost a stigma to the term pre-show, but
sure.
There isn't with Impact as such. They always have a banger on there, and the gut check guys, they look good. That's all that matters. As long as they are shown to be, show the reason why Impact signed them in the first place, which they did.
Yeah, with the gut check winners, we'll talk extensively. I know there's a comment about it, but I thought it was a good way to start the show. I see Critical Sting, what's up, buddy? Mentioning Hikuleo seeming out of Bullet Club because he just turned on Jay White and sided with his brother, Tama Tonga. So, but also, I think Juice Robinson is a next level guy. So him being that, that main guy to the two of Bay and Ace, I like a lot. Hikuleo means Ace and Bay are the guys, and Hikuleo is kind of the new guy. So I like it that way. But I also want to mention, I wrote down this as well, how cool is the Victory Road branding? Like the yellow and black everywhere, very TNA as well. Everything felt branded. The crowd was obviously small, but it felt like the Impact Zone. It had the lights around it. Yeah, there's obviously definitely room for improvement, and I'm excited to see what they do with this alleged new branding. But dug this and the look of the show. Next up was Gia talking to Heath, Josh, and Rich, just preparing, we're on the same page bullshit. And we're going to skip right over that to get to this match. The first thing I wrote down with this, and it did come into play, unfortunately, was I hate when there's another pre-show match, and I hate that terminology as well, and there's the time clock. Like, it felt like Fox Sports, and not even like Fox Sports Net, because it wasn't giving me a time clock to say, hey, this match needs to finish by then. I mean, I guess it was. But I don't know. I've always hated time clocks because it takes away the importance of the match, to me, I think. But we're on a fucking pre-show. So, but Tasha Steelz allegedly defeats Killer Kelly via disqualification. Weird way to go. Cool to see Lance Storm and Tommy out there. Female ref kind of got lost in the shuffle for a bit, but interesting way. So Killer Kelly chokes out an official. Your thoughts on that?
When Killer Kelly first said "See it at Victory Road," I thought, are they rushing this one a bit? I thought this could have gone to Bound for Glory.
Well, it might now.
Yeah, I guess now they can. I thought it was a no contest because I didn't hear a bell.
I went to the results just to clarify. So
right.
I guess she was close, which makes sense. Yeah, Parkside in there saying the match felt a little rushed. Yeah, I agree. And maybe I don't know if it changed the outcome. I don't know if it did, but this way their feud can continue. Now we obviously have a lot of knockouts on the card, which doesn't matter. But I want to hate it. And of course, shout out to Tasha not only for the intro a bit ago, but wearing the Ursula gear, wearing the inflatable Ursula gear. So that was what they call the pre-show. There's Io talking about if it wasn't for the DQ, I would have predicted every match right. Yeah, we'll pop that up in a second. Let's hit a little bit of this first, because next up is the X Division Championship match. We had Mike Bailey defeating Delirious here. Is this your first kind of round with Delirious? Have you seen any of his past work? And what did you think of both No Shoes going at it at Victory Road?
This was my first ever Delirious match. I've obviously I'm aware of him. I know the name. I know the mask. Didn't know anything about him besides that. Another banger from Mike Bailey.
Man, I give you credit. I always give when I hear anything about Mike Bailey or someone whatever. I try to make sure I'm like, man, there was a time where I had no clue who the hell this guy was, which is generally the case. I'm not I'm got limited time. I'm in my own zone, but you always talked about him. You said this guy's gonna be this. This guy's gonna be that. I'm like, oh, okay, Craig, cool. And lo and behold, man, this guy is killing it. 9 defenses now. 9 defenses.
It's Mike Bailey. Maybe there's a case of he's not much of a character, but when you're that good at what you do, and Delirious, I'm guessing a veteran.
Yeah,
I thought it was a good match. I never for a second thought Bailey was going to lose it.
Yeah,
but I think it's when you look at this again. I mentioned Josh's world title reign, but when you look at this X Division title reign, when it's ended, and you look at the names he defeated, almost maybe being one of the best X Division champions in history, this is a pretty good list.
Yeah, man. Lucha had brought some stats last week about who the company in which he's in. And that's, Rich, I think, and Josh, who had some really great runs as well. Because maybe the names are huge that are on the list of X Division champions, but the reigns aren't really what that belt was about. It was the number of reigns, who had it, whatever. So for him to be in the 9 company and close to that 13, and now having Kazarian, spoiler alert, at Bound for Glory, this run is like no other, man. Shout out to Speedball. Hopefully we'll be kicking that sign in half at Bound for Glory. But yeah, man, he's on another world, and his matches are all must see. Now, shout out to Tom and Raywalt, who likes to say nonsense a lot, by the way. I point that out like a mark every time he says it. But the history and the importance in which they tell the story, man, especially for this, making that belt feel important. I think, a lot of people, we overlook the little big things that this management team has done since they took over. And a lot of them are making reigns matter. Deanna's reigns will go down in history as reigns. Mike Bailey's win on top of that X is a moment, and his reign will live on. Josh's run and reign, they've built people the right way, and it's shit like this that just, man, puts it on another level. And the one thing about Bailey that I wanted to mention, that there was like a video game spot where like he was just like just kicking and they were moving. Oh, genius stuff, man! Just takes you out of where you're at and what you're expecting and turns it on the head. And there's always a moment with a Mike Bailey match like that. So
yeah, I'm excited for Kazarian.
Yes. Yeah, that should be a good one. And a lot of history and tied to that too. And I'll talk about that because I have a note about that, about Kazarian. Honor No More was next up, shooting the shit. All I got here is what a shitty leader Eddie is. I mean, if you continuously just, good Lord, like I know we all have our moments, but every week you just crap on PCO and there before Vincent in a way. It's like, what else can this guy do? But there it was. So hyping up the potential of a clean sweep for Honor No More in the show. We'll get to it and start right away with Motor City Machine Guns defeating PCO and Vincent. This one, an easily predictable match. Made sense. It makes PCO and Vincent in that storyline, the fracture there, continue with Honor No More. And then Motor City Machine Guns, obviously the number one contender, building to their match at Bound for Glory with the Kingdom. So maybe it's a nice time. I don't know if you got anything on your thoughts on that or just the whatever, but it's a good time to bring down the prediction board.
I mean, Machine Guns, PCO and Vincent, a match I didn't know was happening, hence why myself and Nixon did not predict it. But it usually when on Impact Plus specials, there's a match that doesn't really make much sense of why it's on there. But this one didn't have it. This one makes sense because PCO and Vincent are no more. They want to, I guess, loose, I don't know, beat him up a bit. Obviously, it didn't work, but I've never been more convinced of a face turn coming for PCO at Bound for Glory against Eddie.
Yeah.
It's.
Oh, you think it's at Bound for Glory it happens?
Yeah, I think PCO costs Eddie the world title.
I hope that's not. If that's the main event, I hope that's not how it ends, or that's a part of it. I don't want an overbooked match. I would love to just see a World Championship match. But yeah, it's inevitable. This has to happen sooner rather than later. Critical Sting with the stats here. If Bayley breaks Aries' record, the DMC will be the only title to not have a Canadian as the longest reign record holder. You Anthem, you Canucks. Hey, deserve it, man. Deserve it. All the people in the place. Parkside here saying, Geoff, do you think Speedball breaks the X Division reigns that he'll use option C and challenge for the world title sometime after Bound for Glory? Man, I'm holding on to hope that him and Josh both turn heel and they form a new Team Canada, man. I would love if this new VBD thing is a swerve and they're part of it as well. I'm holding on my hope, but no, I mean I could see it, and I get it. That's the natural evolution of it. I just want Josh to go out with a bang, man.
Yeah.
And turning heel might be that way. Give him a nice heel run with it back to angry Josh, no matter if it's because of Heath or what, or whoever makes him snap. It'd be nice. We'll keep going here, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the board. Because next up, even though I thought that match was good, and I thought the crowd was into some things here, but this was the one where I feel like not only the show got in a little bit more, like, sit back and strap in, but the crowd as well. Mickie James defeating Giselle Shaw, part of the last rodeo here. Man, I thought this was a candidate for at least maybe not match of the night, but I mean top.
Yeah. It did. I said win or loss here. It just one is for Giselle, which I'm all about. Been a big fan of Giselle for quite some time from the One Night Onlys, and I mean. I said it on TBN. Maybe I said it off air, but I don't see Mickie James getting that Knockouts title match. I think she loses at some point. Maybe not at Bound for Glory, but
yeah,
I see Mickie losing and not getting that Knockouts title match. I don't know, but I said didn't expect Giselle to win for a single second. It'd be cool, but it helped Giselle a lot. Mickie looked good when and a banger match.
Yeah. Look, you're completely right. With the Giselle losing here affects her none. I actually took a lot out of it for her. First of all, this is obviously Mickey's facing some local and bigger indie people, but this was her first true match. It felt like a true test, and it delivered. it delivered, and it felt important. It felt like Giselle wanted this, and it felt like Mickie didn't want to lose it. So that's exactly what you want. And there was some stuff. There's the bloody lip. There was some really good stuff in there. And what I wrote down was, not only was it the best taken Mick DDT for however you pronounce it in a long time, because no one ever. It's you gotta do it right, or you're all just rolling around or whatever. Yeah. And the other thing was I wrote down was I got small ass writing and the treehouse. Confidence, the comfort of where Giselle is. Like, you just feel like with the character, with who she is on TV, learning that, where she is in her development. Like, for everything that could have been, and we obviously knew there was some weirdness with the Lady Frost program, because it looked like it was going to go where they were in a team or something and introduce her that way, so she kind of had to find her way with the influence, and then here, and she's found that moment, and yes. This was it for it to where she's a complete character now. Once that music hits, you know what you're getting. The matches are obviously completely different than a lot of the other knockouts, so look out for her, man. I think this could be a big turning page. What that means, I don't know, but maybe Bound for Glory. What is it called? Call Your Shot, right?
Call Your Shot. Yeah.
Call Your Shot.
Giselle. I've actually managed to see Giselle live in person twice.
Oh, nice.
And had just like a banging match, but there was something missing. But no, like I said, she's complete character now, yeah. And can definitely a couple knockouts title reigns in the future.
Oh yeah, and we'll get into that. Just a lot of knockouts coming in. We don't know why. We'll talk about speculation, but so catching up us on this, and it's a little out of order, so I apologize, guys. But obviously, none of us except Lucha getting it right. Technically, with Tasha over Killer Kelly. We had everyone going Motor City Machine Guns, everyone going Mickie, everyone going Bullet Club, and everyone going Bayley. So pretty much everyone doing well there. You can see, Craig, you're still there. Tied, though, for first with 73. Shout out to Io as well. Bert coming in fourth, technically, with 72, 1% less, and down you see there. But everyone doing well. Everyone above 50. So we'll keep talking about this. This is our prediction board. We generally have a pre-show where we go over it, and then we do the next one. Some things changing, but yeah, life was crazy this week, so didn't get to do that. But we're here, we're talking, we're enjoying this, and we have some cool stuff after Bound for Glory lined up. So yeah. Let's see, Millard in here talking nonsense. What's he got to say? Jeff, do you think the Impact would put the world title on Eddie as a heel if OGK leaves after BFG tapings? I think he's the one who eventually, but it'll be as a babyface. Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about the heel turn a little bit in comments. I just think I love Eddie. He's still young in the sense of where you were at today's wrestling's in his 30s, technically 39, I believe. He's still a franchise player for Impact Wrestling and has done a lot of being the guy who carries the flag for quite a bit. So it's just at the same time. We had Moose, we had Christian, Kenny, Christian, Moose, or whatever it was, Josh, Moose, Josh, whatever. So we got spoiled with having new, like let's build some new. And if Josh loses or when he loses, I would prefer it to be to some new or equivalent, someone we're trying to say is on Josh's level, that is a homegrown Impact Wrestling guy. Is that Maclin? Is that back to Moose? Is that Sammy again, which I wouldn't mind? I don't know. I don't have to say wouldn't mind. I would love, but
at the start of Josh's reign, I said I can see him breaking Root's record. Now I'm not so sure. I think this is going to Battle for Glory against Eddie is the most I've believed Josh may lose, but I'm not. I'm like 60% sure Josh could lose.
Yeah, the thing, I know you mentioned the PCO stuff, and maybe there is some overbooking in this coming along, because Honor No More is obviously going to want Eddie to win. PCO might turn and scare them away, but there's also, especially with the contracts running up or whatever else may go on, there's a lot of ROH people popping up. Delirious, Shane Taylor a few weeks back. I'm totally missing a bunch, but there's a lot of ROH people. Maclin Paler, technically, I believe, is ROH.
Joe
Not
Hendry.
saying that they do part of that group, but there's a lot of options opening up. A lot of people on the indies as well that are free agents that could be part. Joe Hendry, technically, so there's a lot of people that they can keep making that group work. I just don't know which way they're going with it. So I get where you're coming from as far as this is the first time you've thought he might actually lose. But I don't want that night to end, because I've been to three Bound for Glories. One of them being 2011, where Bobby Roode wins the it ended off well, obviously afterwards. But when you're there and you're hyped and you go all the way to Philly and you watch it, shout out to Johnny, by the way, and Max, who were with me in Philly for that, and we turned around and drove back right away. And you end off with some cluster match and the heel winning, and you're just, I don't know. So hopefully it just ends off on a good note, Bound for Glory, no matter which way it plays out. Next up was the Triple Threat Revolver, and I got some notes because trying to remember who eliminated who in whatever way would have been crazy. But man, what a match this was! Not overbooked. Everything made sense, especially the end, which I got something for that. But I'll tell you how it played out. Craig, I'll get your opinion on it. We'll hit up the board and then I'll mention that. So first trio was Mia, Laredo Kid, and Trey. Trey rocking the Doring shirt, by the way. You guys could see it on the ticker. Go by there on the Tron, when it's not blocked. But go check out shopimpact.com. Do your thing, man. Get a Joe Doring shirt. Support that dude. He's got 2 of them out there. Help him out. But Trey rocking that. And the first one here is to get eliminated is Laredo Kid via Mia, man. Really putting Mia over. Really loved it. This whole night for her was awesome, even though she lost. More on that later. But what a showing here. So proud of, man. It's so cool. Next up entering was Alex Zane, who also is the next eliminated. Again, this time by Mia. Kenny King is out next, and of course Kenny was gonna get that would be the one that takes out Mia, and he did. Her being third. Next out was Yuya Uemura. He was the 4th to lose, though. Kenny as well. Kenny, what a heel in this match, man. Yeah. Oh, Trey did eliminate Yuya. Excuse me, you're right. Good catch, Datila. Thank you. And then, but still, Kenny King, man, definitely, just what a great shit in this. And of course it ended, but it did end with Kenny, Kazarian, and Taurus. And now this was a perfect ending for me, and I'll kick it to you, is because I think it kills 2 birds, 1 stone. We get our Bound for Glory winner, we got the guy, the person that's going to take on Mike Bailey. I wanted Bound for Glory. Kazarian eliminated Trey, thank you. Yeah. But the thing with the 3 in the end here was there's no dilemma that they have to clear up on the next taping or the night after, because now Taurus, who was on a roll, even this past Impact on Access TV, won again after not having been on a roll. He lost his chance right here. Kenny King, who has I was 3-time champion, took that away from me. He had his gripe. Can't say anything because he lost right here. So this made Kazarian the clear number 1 contender for the X Division title. Loved it for that. Your thoughts on the whole match and just how it was booked, man. What a beautiful match.
Yeah. Second Revolver match and the second banging Revolver match. Obviously, I wanted Mia to win. I thought I just didn't know where they're going to go with Mia at Bound for Glory. But facing Mickie James, I'm fine with. Cool. Yeah. I guess my thing is, obviously there was that report a few months ago from Tony Khan saying he doesn't want AEW guys losing to Impact guys, and Kazarian hasn't lost since he came back. He can as a no contest because of Honor No More.
He lost to Saban clean.
Oh yeah, okay, so it's that. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, Kazarian more. If it's Kazarian's choice, then he'll probably will put Speedball over. But again, there's that small doubt in my mind because Speedball could defend the title in both weeks, and what would be 10 and 11. Could he fall short of 13? I don't know. But
Unless there's some tomfoolery here, man, there's no way in hell Speedball loses to Kazarian.
Yeah.
No way in hell. That report of the Tony Khan thing, man. Look, he is who he is, but right now, after we loaned him Motor City Machine Guns, I'm sure this was the switch and bait. Hey, we wanted Kazarian, we'll give you Motor City first. They got to be here first. We're not going to tell you anything. His normal shtick. But as far as losing, I think that maybe in the beginning that was the thing, and obviously it was. But I just don't see that being what plays out here, especially with Kaz. I think what it feels like with the people like Kazarian and the people with Daniels, even though that ended up abruptly, I think it's guys who just aren't getting play elsewhere, still getting paid, and are saying, well, I get to go actually wrestle and be in an important feud, and okay, I don't care if I take an L. You know what I mean? Like, I've done it all, but at least I get to go out there and be on a marquee match and, whatever. So I don't think that's going to be an issue, and I think there's no way in hell that Kazarian wins. Now, if he does, that would be... My thing is that you've had such a great run with Bayley. Even though Kazarian's a very viable option and a former champion himself, it just would be such out of the place. And same with Motor City, like we said. Like, yeah, it makes sense, and it could happen, and I'm okay with that for one reason or another. But it just felt like, okay, 2 weeks. Oh yeah, your number one contendership, whatever. So I just don't think they ruin his reign that way. Now, on the flip side, what I did right was I picked Kazarian from the get. Would have been okay if Kenny King won. So we have that Honor No More, whole thing at Bound for Glory. But the video package that will come out of Frankie Kazarian leading up to this, that might turn my opinion in 2 weeks quickly to who I want to win. I still think I want Bayley to win for the future. Literally for the future, he needs to win. Ironic as that is, but I think the video package that comes out is, I know they'll kill it, man, because the nostalgia aspect of Kazarian getting a shot at Bound for Glory, and shout out once again to Tom and the man who literally, this is Kazarian's fourth Bound for Glory. This is the motor. Throughout the whole night, mentioning things like that, which makes Bound for Glory more important. But anyways,
no, I agree. Hannafin has learned his history, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, for sure, man. And here we all went. We were mixed bag here. Io, myself, and Nixon going with Kazarian. Kenny King for Bert, Lucha, and Max. Mia for you, and Yuya for Datila. I mean, picking this was like shooting. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I said it on TBN. With this match, whoever wins, we're guaranteed a banger match Bound for Glory.
Yeah. And the showing from all of them, no one felt less important. I thought once again they made Mia look like, the star that she is, but dope stuff. The other aspect, and what will actually kind of carry over with Mia, is Gail here is making a match, is talking to Taya, Jessica, and Rosemary. I thought Taya and Jessica were going to get the tag title match because Rosemary was going to be Mickie James's opponent, but Mia getting that thing. So, so at the end of the day, it's Taya and Jessica, which they aesthetically makes sense. Personality makes sense. My goal was still Sue and Havoc, but they're going to face Vexed at Bound for Glory. A put-together match, man, for one reason or another. This really deflated me as far as the treatment of those titles, because I thought we were in a good place. But we're not pulling. Maybe this is where we pull the switch or something on a new team coming and making a statement. I don't know.
I mean, you mentioned in the heel turn with Josh and Bayley and joining BBD. Maybe Taya turns, we do get at Team Canada.
Oh, I like that option. I thought Taylor Wilde might be the one, but maybe her and Taylor could be a tag team option. Who knows? Chelsea's I don't know, man. I think there's a lot to play with, and I do like Jessica's growth, but that tag division, I thought we were on a good whatever, and maybe something happens here that really does make the division expand. I'm just still nervous about where Chelsea and Deanna end up after this year.
Yeah, I think it must have been discussed about pulling the plug on the tag division. Not that they won't, for obvious reasons.
No.
But it's something needs to happen drastically to get
pulling the plug. Oh, something needs to happen.
Yeah,
drastically?
something needs to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, but the whole pull the plug thing is that's much. And there's no reason to do it. They have a huge knockouts roster. They have the possibility of making it there. It's an 88-minute show, so you can't work in everything. I don't get, just like the DMC, for everyone who's like, oh man, the X Division title, you go back and yeah, it felt important, but that's a flash in the pan, man. The X Division is lightning in a bottle. You go to any division, any title, IC included, European, United States, there's always lulls and stuff. And yes, the beginning isn't, if you're just around enough to see it happen, isn't always prestigious and the best or whatever. You just got to build it and have time. And so scrapping the work they've put into it, because there are some good teams that have won this. You got to look, man, there's never been a strong, ever, no matter where you look, a women's tag team division anywhere. If you ask someone, name 5 famous women's tag teams.
In terms of divisions, there's women-only companies like Person Eve,
fair,
like Stardom. But fair. I get what I mean. It's just this tag division. It's just when it feels like it's starting to get its feet off the ground. Something happens, and then it's gone back to the bottom, out of focus.
Yeah,
and then they try and do something again. But hopefully, I mean, Vexed are promising, and I hope.
Oh yeah,
it sticks with Vex for a while longer.
Well, that's the thing is if it stays on Vexed, and then they present them with new tag teams or new combinations of them, and make them just as prominent and viable as Vexed is, then I'm okay. And I love the division. I just want it. They have the talent. They just, once again with the X Division, 2 weeks ago we were saying the same stuff. There's no focus on the X Division. There's no direction. In a matter of a week, we got a Triple Threat Revolver. We have some things going on. We see all the people that want a chance at it. They just got to put some. And once again, we have to look at the backstage part of this as well. Chelsea's on a per deal, right? And Deanna is running up soon, so we'll talk about that. Bobby Fish is up next, and he's controversial, and he's coming. I think we talked about him to Impact Zone, but I'm not sure if I mentioned it about him as a potential to come in. It makes too much sense with Albany being his hometown, with him, us trying to capitalize on he's got the mic kind of bullshit. I'm going to be honest. I didn't like this. And it was because, well, one, I love Raj, and I'm growing on, Shira's growing on me. So the way of going about it, when the perception is AEW is already pretentious or elite compared to us, is not saying, who are you? I don't like that. I thought it did so little for Impact. And I've watched Bobby's careers, well, not from the get, but maybe, I don't know. I'll have to go back and see when I caught on. But he's been part of my whatever for a long time. So excited for him there, but to shit on our talent, to have a weird thing, then he had to tell him to shove me, which is a little thing, whatever. Anyone getting a big prospect, oh my God, we got Bobby Fish. The dude's 46 years old.
Yeah.
So a cool moment, unexpected. I know a lot of people need a debut to get off on a show, but the controversial shit, I give no shits.
When Bobby Fish's music hit, I was really happy.
Okay.
I'm big Undisputed Era guy.
Okay.
From day one for the UE. But that moment where he said to Raj, "Who are you?" But then before, like 2 minutes before, saying that he's been keeping a close eye on the roster, like he didn't need to go that route with it.
Yeah.
If Bobby Fish is gonna stick around and help put some of the younger guys over, fine.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
I'm cool with that. But yeah, the controversy crap. I mean, he laid into CM Punk on Twitter. That's about as controversial as it gets.
Yeah.
And people have been shitting on CM Punk for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just I get it. I get it. And it did pop. I once again a fan. It's not like I don't dislike this guy, but at this point in his career, what is it really doing for us? He's not going to put people over. At least in last night's capacity.
Right.
But
I think it's been made pretty clear that Bobby Fish wants to go back to WWE.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there's quite a few of these people. So running really bad on time. So we'll keep chugging along here. Got a lot of topics to get to, but next up was Honor No More defeating Heath, Josh, and Rich, as expected. We all predicted it. Don't know what this says for Eddie winning or not. Momentum wise, usually it's never the heel winning or the whatever person that's going to winning twice. But hey, their own rhythm, their own beat. So we'll see. I'm still don't know which way it's going to go. Next up was Mia and Mickey backstage. Love this little segment. Really simple and easy way to build it. What, you don't want to beat me? I just thought it was really nicely done. Gives Mia, who I hope is sticking around past her 6 months, Ella for the road if she's leaving. But at the same time, once again, just like with Giselle, it doesn't hurt her. It's a big storyline. Mickey and her, will be a great match. We keep going, and it's Jordynne Grace defeating Max the Impaler. This is my first opportunity watching Max's work. Loved it. The Kong comparisons are there. From the one little dread of different color to the get up to the just I'm gonna come out here and just manhandle you. And Jordynne, who is our juggernaut, to see the size discrepancy and the power. What a damn hard fought match this was.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hope Max sticks around, especially with James Mitchell. Anytime we get James on the show, is great. And then, of course, Jordynne saying that pick your poison works both ways. Monsters Ball, this Impact coming up. Masha versus Alley Catch, who I'm not too familiar with. I know, the buzz and all that stuff, but pretty cool match, pretty cool segment, and glad the crowd knew who Alley Catch was.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Max the Impaler. I've seen them in person, and they are, they were good when they were in OVW. But now James Mitchell is with them. That next level, and Alley Catch, I couldn't give two shits.
Oh man, Jesus!
It's cool. Get the like I said, the buzz, but
yeah,
I really don't care that much. Alley Catch, when you slice someone with a knife, that's not wrestling.
Oh, see, I don't know anything. Maybe it's good to be oblivious to this, and I could just grade her based on what I see on Impact this week. But at least the crowd knew who she was. Plays into Monster Ball. It seems as if she's stabbing people. So there's that. But I thought this was a great showing for Jordynne, and this was one of the first defenses or first moments where it was like Jordynne's the world champ. Like she is the world champ. Next up was a great announcement. Look, man, the world aligns sometimes. Got the same birthday. Raven's my dude. I already got a sign worked out. You'll see me. I'm not going to say what it is, but Raven's going to be in the Hall of Fame in Albany, which is this is amazing. Love Raven. Love this, man. And him originally coming over after his WWE release, man, and coming and showing up on Wednesday night was a moment that I'll always remember. So thoughts on Raven before we get to the main event here.
Yeah, wasn't expecting Raven, but now when it's put in front of you, it's obvious he should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raven coming over to TNA, a big deal. Yeah, it's well deserved, but well earned.
Yeah, well deserved. I agree, man. And I said this about the Good Brothers, because there's now, granted, Raven's situation was actually kind of the same as the Good Brothers in a way. You get released, you come over, and you make an impact, and you decide to use, even though he was a little bit older in his career, not that much, he was still able to make a difference, to say he is one of those moments that will last forever within this company. And that's even just that 20 years in, that says a lot. So really cool, man. And it's even better that he gets a moment here. So awesome. Excited for that. And then, of course, Gia's with Moose, putting Moose over. So Moose still is a star, which he is. And then we have the Barbed Wire Massacre, which we'll talk about a little bit in comments as well. But Maclin taking the win here. All of us, oh no, you went with Sammy. You thought Sammy was going to win. There was for a moment I wanted to go with Moose. But a good match here, man. Exactly what you thought it would be. Unless you were expecting the ropes, which we'll talk about. But look, I thought this was a way to end the show. It made, as I'll let you say, because I know you had talked about it off air a little bit, but Matt, how damn good first of all, it felt like a video game, like a ECW Revolution, like that old school like video game with Sammy as Cactus. You had the Moose and the I don't know, just everyone looked like a character. It was, I don't know, I know that's a small compliment, I guess, but it's big in my head. Your thoughts on the match, and of course how good Maclin looked here, man.
Well, as far as the match goes, I thought Sammy would turn it around, but he's now 0-3 in Barbed Wire Massacres. Maclin looked great.
Yeah.
If one of the next world champions.
Yeah, that's fair. I would love a mid-card belt first, but we don't really have one. Maybe DMC gets there in time. But
it has to be one of the next in line. He looked great. The Punisher stuff, amazing.
Yeah, he does. He does. And I thought this was a nice step for him. I think hopefully he's sticking around as well. I think he can be a foundation piece here. If it's soon, it's soon. But he looks and walks and talks the part, man. And I thought this was a great showing. But we'll talk more about that. You guys can see here as far as how we did on the prediction board. How did you guys do? Was it, once again, we always say there's a certain level Impact never gets below. We'll grade it in just a second, but, even the predictable ones are still damn good and fun. But you guys can see us there. Let us know how you guys did. I loved this match, even though, and we'll talk about it, there was no wire, like the old school one, the ropes is the barbed wire, but for Victory Road, this was damn good, man. I go B+ on this show, man. I thought it was a good show. I don't know if I'd go A and whatever, but I do know who was happy with the show. It's whoever makes doors in Nashville, because every time they go there, they must buy out the local Lowe's or whoever the hell. Doors. Doors easier to break, I wonder. I don't know. It looked like they hurt. All right, let's get this prediction board up. I was gonna call you Max. Jesus, man. Like old times. Craig, what's your grade for it?
See, for me, I'm almost of the opinion that in the past 5-10 years, there hasn't been a 10 out of 10 and A+ show in wrestling. And I felt that Emergence was closer to Impact's best than Victory Road. Victory Road was decent. Like people say, Impact doesn't go below a level. I'd have to go B-. It was still a very good show, but there are a few moments in there that lowered it for me. Like, very solid, but not.
Yeah, it's fair. I went B plus. There are other moments. I'm obviously still recognize them. I thought but they did a lot of just forwardness and a lot of, yes, even though I didn't agree with a lot of the Bobby Fish stuff, it got a moment. All these little things, it added depth to it. So I give it a B plus for that. But it looks like you guys give 54% A, B with 35%. So okay, so a little bit in between there for you diehards. 7% for C, and the little D's going 4%. I know you trolls, because that was no way a D performance. Now C, maybe, okay, sure, but I thought it was overall good. Gives us something. So quick to Bound for Glory. Once again, I think those dates really hindered a lot of the build for Bound for Glory more than anything else. But good to have a banger here, because we're obviously going to have one at Bound for Glory. This card just keeps getting better and better. So let's go on. Let's get to the hot topics. Let's get to those. We're running on time. We'll still hit our normal. Try to stay between 125. So we got 25 minutes, Craig, to talk about this stuff. Some stuff are not. Some are shout-outs and stuff. But let's see what you guys got for us. Number one, we start with Best Side 92. Welcome back. Victory Road thought was a really good show. I do think they should have done the match with Maclin months ago, so Maclin could be the opponent for Josh at Bound for Glory. It was said, I think, said he cut a backstage promo saying he wants whoever wins at Bound for Glory. So it looks like Maclin's in the shuffle. He could be the opponent for Josh at Bound for Glory. I do think there needs to be some big tournament or big match that decides the Bound for Glory winner, because these random matches on Impact don't do it for me. So I agree in that sense. There should be a big something that puts someone over, so they're the setup for Bound for Glory every year. Also, didn't like how they had the show at the studio, especially with Barbed Wire Match, where they are risking injury. They needed to be in front of way more fans, in my opinion. Yeah, I wish I had more money too. I wish I had shit rainbows and butterflies, but it is what it is, and it didn't stop me or hinder me from enjoying the match. But the studio aspect, I do. But I think they're risking injury no matter where they wrestle or what kind of match.
Yeah. If every match Bound for Glory so far, every title has been decided via a number one contenders match. There's been no one who
feuding.
Yeah, there's no real feud. So if Maclin says he's got next, that can at least build to something. And I'm fine with it, but I don't see if Maclin is next, he's not going to win.
Yeah.
Maclin, when Maclin has the world title match, he needs to win. He's not winning next. And as far as the Barbed Wire Massacre goes, it's criminal that Impact isn't in front of large crowds, but it's all about the lane they're in.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get massive crowds for a very, very long time. Maybe never again if the world is on its arse in terms of finances.
That's fair. And the cash cow, even, the bigger ones, people don't have expendable money. Eventually it is going to come to, especially with all of this wrestling on a weekly basis. I hope we're not oversaturating the market. And I think that's what Impact is doing good, is living within their means. Because just like when, COVID originally hit and the lockdowns hit, Impact excelled. Because when it comes to just doing the thing, putting on the shows, presenting people the right way, Impact kills it. So the crowds will catch up. I get what your point as far as looking from a real world aspect, not a whatever. I think it's once again it's going to be keep building the markets they go to, and then I don't think it's going to be a big signing. I think the rebranding is going to help. Being called Island of Misfit Toys or the ECW of the new era would be big for them. Would be big. Yeah. Embrace it and grow that way.
Yeah.
Next up is our buddy Chris Zaletta. We were talking about a New Japan angle for Bound for Glory. I don't know now. A lot of things changing. Maclin getting a chance, it looks like. But Impact will be involved in Wrestle Kingdom. And the contract status of the OGK, what do you think happening there? So as far as the OGK, obviously, they all run up allegedly at Bound for Glory. I just see them being such a good fit, but hey, Marina's a businesswoman, man, and if WWE comes knocking, if this new ROH comes knocking, I don't know. We don't have the money to compete with that. That's why I'm nervous about them bringing in the Shane Taylors and all these people. It looks like they're padding the fall, but if it's Motor City that takes them out, that would be a smart time for that to happen. I prefer OGK to win and continue to ride with us. I don't know if they ride. I don't know if they want to, though. And then as far as Wrestle Kingdom, I think that would be big. Once again, I think the New Japan relationship is the real bridge between Impact and AEW. If we don't play nice, I don't think they want to play with one or other, depending on who's in the wrong. So I think there's a possibility. And the fact that they're actually putting Impact logo when our wrestlers were over there this time, it's a good sign. But of course we would want it. Craig, you agree? Or disagree?
I want to believe that Impact will be involved at Wrestle Kingdom in some way. Of course, Machine Guns did beat the never strong Open Tag Team Champions in the Aussie Open. But whether those tag titles will be defended at Wrestle Kingdom and whether they can wait till January to build that, I don't think so. Yeah. I don't know if I can't see Impact have much involvement in this one. AEW more than likely because of FTR, but
yeah,
I don't see Impact involved at Wrestle Kingdom. I want them to be.
I think I'm flipping it. I'm thinking Forbidden Door. I think that's the one where I think we could squeeze into. Excuse me. I missed it. But Wrestle Kingdom, yeah, I agree. I don't know where, unless Ace and Bay are a part of it.
Yeah, I don't.
Where we fit.
Nah, I don't think we do.
I do see them questioning in there in the chat here. Thank you guys for lighting up the chat, by the way. T asking, has Moose ever bled in a hardcore match? I couldn't tell you, man. Moose doesn't seem like the type, like, I don't need to bleed. Like, I just see special talent, right? Yeah. Next up is, just a couple shout outs we got here for Lucha. Once again, Lucha will be back for Afterbound for Glory. Yeah, we'll be back. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. LO TNAIW is coming, Season 2. We're working on it each week, but shout out to Lucha for holding down the fort last week, and then Johnny prior to that as well. And this week, Craig. So, yay, fun times. All right. We're going to keep on pushing along. It's our buddy Chris again. Awesome episode. Yeah, thank you, buddy. You agree with you both on the cringy Joe Hendry video. Not you, Craig. Obviously agrees with us. VBD with a new member. Refreshing. It would be refreshing if they did. Lucha, agree with you on Kenny coming back for receipts. He's talking about Kenny Omega. I don't know about that. But VBD, well, we already talked about the Joe Hendry and your thoughts on him in his videos. But VBD, I always mention that it's kind of nice, even unfortunately, with when Joe was at full health and with it, they needed something. They were taking a lot of L's. They could use a little change, a new person. I said Masha would be cool. They needed something, and I thought these segments had been doing it. I'm going to use this as I don't know if this is the next one. Let me see if I got it right. Yeah, here we go. Let's let it lead right into this VBD one, and we'll backtrack a little. The VBD stuff is just confusing. One week they're trying to get more people in their faction. The week after, it's just EY and Cody only again. They should switch up their gimmicks so something else, because it's just getting stale now, Best Side 92. I don't agree with the stale part whatsoever. I think this is actually pushing them into a new light, into a new direction. And I don't know, the 1 week, it's only the two of them. They literally beat up the whole group this week, right?
Yeah.
But your thoughts in general on VBD, is it confusing to you? Is it stale? Or is this kind of a revitalization for you of them?
I like what they're doing with it.
Yeah.
Obviously, this wasn't meant to happen, but real life sucks most of the time.
Yeah.
I think what they're doing with it, it's only the second week, but it's working more and more each week. The I am violence thing,
right?
We kind of reinventing it slightly with Eric Young saying it's all about me and if you want to come along. But I'm the focus here.
Yeah.
I think it works. I'm excited to see how they do it with this, all those extra people. But yeah, it wasn't just EY and Dina this week. It had all of them, and they beat everyone up.
Yeah, I would say though something that kind of has stuck with me was the "what's my name" thing, right? And I know we had joked about some in the chats about being Jake something, but with the connection with Jake and Diener, and him still being a free agent, they need a powerhouse. I just think that there's got to be some. They're going to add some people. It's just going to be a matter of time. Could it be a gut check person? I'll finish off this topic before going to the next one, or this comment. He also mentions gut check. It was nice that they finally had the gut check winners in a match, but they should have done more to promote them. Most fans don't even know who these dudes are. Yeah, I don't agree with that, and I'll tell you why. For me, I already kind of mentioned it with the TNA feel. I want to have prospects in TNA that we can not waste any of our 88 minutes of television on developing. We don't have, well, not developing, but presenting. You know, oh look, there's that Shogun guy looks cool. Oh, Jack Price, yeah, here's a good move. Oh yeah, I like this guy. What was the other guy's name? Jason Hotch. I like his whatever. I rather have those moments and us stay, oh yeah, okay, slowly as a fan base, get used to them, use them here and there. Don't put much work into them. And then when they finally, the fans get behind them, then you put a rocket in their ass and make them whatever. I don't think every gut check winner, it's not like the old time where, you know, Brian Cage was going for one and Joey Ryan and all that bullshit. This is more of a outside the storyline thing. This is just gut check on the road, whatever. So I like this. It gives them an opportunity. It's glad that they're using them. Makes sense for them to be enhancement talent to the Bullet Club. Where are your thoughts on this?
I mean, for months, people on social media have been asking where Shogun's been. So clearly they are aware of Shogun, who once got check right at the beginning of COVID. Like that's what, coming to 3 years now. People, and now he's finally on a show where people can see him, like not just on BTI for the occasional match. He's there, and Jack Price and Jason Hotch. Yeah, people know who they are. If you're, most Impact fans are diehards, and they paid close attention to this stuff, and they know who they are. I mean, yeah, I got confused between Jason Hotch and Jack Price, but it's you've got to learn who they are.
But there's no shame in not knowing who they are. And that's the thing is, if you just watch the product, you don't follow the sheets, you don't follow the indies, you don't follow anything else, you just watch it, I think you got to take that aspect of it too. It's not a matter of, do you know who Jack Price is in every match he's had on the indies? No, I don't give a shit. If I'm watching the television show of Impact, I want them to present them in the way that we're going to be accustomed to them. So letting them start like this and then saying, oh, I like this guy, or I kind of have good feelings about this prospect, is something new and different that they don't need to waste time putting him in a gimmick or a segment or a vignette, or treating him as if he's a bigger name. Keep it as there. Maybe if some people know who they are, cool, awesome, but keep it as low key and then have them bust out, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Here's one I thought I answered on Twitter and then I forgot before the show. Impact Wrestling Slam Zone. Check it out. Once again, I always say, if you don't like my voice, which is it's possible. If you don't like Craig's voice, I don't know how. Once again, you can catch them on TBN this coming Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. BST. There are tons of Impact Wrestling podcasts out there that kill it and once again build this community one friend at a time, one fan at a time, and build this company, which is what we're trying to do here. So go check out anyone else, including Impact Slam Zone. What he had asked is, and what I alluded to was, what's your guys' thoughts on Barbed Wire Massacre? Just hope it's not like what they gave us at Hard to Kill 2021, which it was. I want the No Ropes Barbed Wire Massacre like original Abyss and Sabu. Yeah, as being someone who watched that live, not in person, but live at the screen when it happened, I remember that moment, man. That match was always in my head. I've watched it all the time. I go back and watch it on Bloodiest Brawl Volume 1. Now that I have the app, I don't, or in the YouTube, I don't know why, but hey, man, I'm old. But yeah, the ropes were another level. Obviously, there's logistics issues with that. You got to change the ropes and do all that stuff. Maybe not as big a deal as it sounds, but you got that. You got the fact that barbed wire that they used with the Sabu and Abyss is vicious, and they shouldn't be using that in today's day and age. But as far as nothing touches the Abyss vs Sabu, man. No matter how good these matches are, that just hits. Yeah. It just hits different.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. Obviously, I noticed it, and maybe didn't have the same feel, but they tried it back in 2017 with OV and LAX.
Yeah,
and that match got taken off TV.
Oh yeah, what did Eddie versus Sammy have one? There was one after that, I think. I don't know.
No, I mean in terms of having the barbed wire instead of the ropes.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's right.
That match was taken off TV because it's been too violent.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
I guess they have been told to water it down a little bit, even though they are on a network now and they have another on YouTube and all that stuff. But YouTube are so on it when it comes to violence and
that's true.
Like YouTube will slap slap a warning on that video, and could mess up the algorithm for a lot of people. I think they've had to dilute it a little bit, but it still has the same effect. You still don't. It's still cringy when they go into the barbed wire.
Yeah. They leave the little barbs. It gets the shirts, and you get the shots of that and stuff. Oh, by the way, there were some good shots at Bound for Glory for sure. Like there was some clothes catching on things, different things like that. Here's my plea: if anyone's listening out of our 180, by the way, once again, numbers. By the way, we're retaining about 40% of our subscribers that watch this show, man, and that is so cool to me, man. Like I know we could be bigger, I know we could, but the fact that you guys rock with us through thick and thin, man, and tune in each week to all of our shows is really dope to me. But I lost my train of thought. I just thought that was something cool I wanted to mention. But do you want to say anything else on that before I lose my ass and move on to the next one?
No, I think I pretty much covered it. It just have to dilute it down a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. But the shots, that's what it is. They keep catching people on their phones in big moments. Like you got a truck, you got multiple TVs to look at. If someone is on their phone while a big debut happens or a big moment happens, or you're opening a pay-per-view, stop focusing on the asshole that's talking about it and look at the people that are cheering. Yeah, it bothers me so much.
Yeah, it's ultimate bugbear of mine. Like, use your eyes.
Yeah. It's easier to hide in these bigger shows because you got 10,000 fans. 8,000 aren't on their phone. It's easier to find one that's celebrating. Unfortunately, when you have smaller numbers, percentages don't help the production's favor. But next up, Dull 99. Josh turning heel would work better if it was against a face. Turning heel on a heel, or against a face. Turning heel on a heel, that doesn't always work. Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a way to do it. But I think Josh turning heel would be a nice, once again, revitalization of his momentum.
Yeah.
Next up is just a shout out to Pro Wrestling Global, another voice in the wrestling community. Always, not only are we a top amazing fan of them, but always making links and different posts for us without any reason but just kindness and love to that. Respect Pro Wrestling Global. Yes. Go check them out, man.
Awesome.
Here's one, which is Buddy Matthews maybe finished with AEW. We obviously know that a lot of heads are headed their way back to WWE. That seems to be the thing. But even if we lose on to Buddy Matthews, the point I want to get to you guys, and we've talked about in the Impact Zone, about waiting for our talent to come up, waiting for people to come in that are just available at the right time with the looking around the landscape they want Impact Wrestling. Is that Buddy Matthews after choosing to go from one prison to another? It's possible. Remember Buddy for Glory or whatever bullshit, Braun for Glory, Buddy Matthews hints from Scott. If he wants to show what he can do and guarantee that he'll get a good spot, Impact is the right choice for him. Could he go to WWE? No questions asked? Sure. But these are the kinds of openings that I want you guys to look forward to. Because even if he goes to WWE, it eventually opens a spot in WWE for someone to get released, unfortunately. So there's always going to be that trickle-down effect that I want you guys to follow the breadcrumbs on, because this could be something that's one of those big things that really gives... I mean, if he came in and squared up with Josh right away, I mean, I don't think anyone would turn the channel to that.
No.
Or off to that, excuse me.
Buddy Matthews, Murphy, yeah, he's one hell of a talent, and if Impact can get him for a few tapings, I'd be happy with.
Yeah,
but
I would love if he's... Look, it depends on what he wants. He's had the run. Did he get a big one in WWE? Kind of close. He got a touch a little bit of it, but it depends on what he needs as well and what he wants. But I just think anyone who goes to Impact, man, after needing a revitalization, refresh, whatever it may be, always comes out better for it.
Yeah. Look at Morrissey.
There you go. Our buddy Ricky here, at Ricky Alvarez 98. Diamonds are forever. So this is a picture of it. Looks like some Deonna things. This is what I'm allude to. We're a little short on time, so I'm gonna wrap after this one. But something to keep your eye on. The reason I was never scared of Deonna leaving. I think she has a home here. Maclin obviously a home here. Once again, you don't always have to work with your significant other. But if you could build something big like this together, that'd be pretty cool, right? But this is what seems to be her wedding party. I don't know. But she wrote "Diamonds Are Forever" on it. It caught his attention because he's a huge fan of Tessa. But putting that aside in the Tessa speculation, though, it's question to me more, or speculation adding to it, is look at the people in there, right? Is that Britt Baker in the end? You got Deonna. So friends don't always have to work together. You got Chelsea in there as well, and you got Madison, the new head coach, right, for the women of AEW. So does this alarm me? Yes. After that little segment where it's just them getting their tag title shot, or defending them again against Taya and now Jessica, doesn't seem like a prominent spotlight for them. I really hope this isn't the beginning of the end of Vexed. Your thoughts on it? Is this just people could be friends? Everyone's friends in the wrestling community, but this one seems to be a little bit of...
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned. I think Deonna... I mean, maybe it is a case that Deonna wanted to prove that she could hang in WWE.
Yeah.
If they took a chance and pushed her, she could deliver. But I think it's a bit more than that. I think Deonna...
Well, I would think AEW's the concern here.
I mean, yeah, but AEW, their rosters pretty quickly.
That's right.
Would Deonna just...
Saraya?
Yeah, would Deonna just end up like most former Impact guys and just be on Rampage or Dark every now and then? Or maybe she could go to Ring of Honor and pick up the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship again. But I'm not that concerned about Deonna leaving. I think Impact and Deonna have a good relationship, and I'm confident Impact can re-sign her and will re-sign her.
Hey, I like it. We can end it off on that positivity because a bachelorette party. Yeah, I was I was more concerned with AEW. Now, granted, she had that match there and all that jazz. So, is that a deterrent? I don't know, man. I think money speaks. I think the opportunity to bet on yourself speaks. And I don't know what she'll do, but I want to thank her for doing the intro. And I love everything she's done in Impact. She has an action figure coming out. She is still one half of the tag team champions, which I love. Vexed. I think she's a person that can make her own decision. But if that opportunity comes at the way of her and Chelsea both going, you never know. But I would love for her to stick around. Love for more Bound for Glories. And I understand that at the end of the day, Madison isn't the booker of the women's there. She is only the head coach, women's division. So, it still falls on Tony and how much trust she has and what matters to her. But she does have the the action figure coming out. She's got a match for Bound for Glory, and she's doing our intro. So thank you to Deanna and to many more. But Craig, pleasure, my friend. It's been way too long. Obviously, everyone could catch you on Thursday, which is going to be a great show. But your final thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I said earlier, it's criminal that Impact isn't in front of massive crowds, because they are the most consistently good product in wrestling right now. And I just think more people need to give it a chance. And Bound for Glory, these matches are going to be banging matches like they always are. Hopefully we get a bit more build for a few more matches, but it's still 2 weeks to go, and not every match has been announced. But I'm excited for it, and it's cool. Impact's doing good.
Yeah, I think Bound for Glory could be a nice little buzz builder for them. You saw the card on the bottom there. Every match, once again, if you take away, what's the build of it? That draws my eye. If I'm not an everyday Impact person, especially. I mean, you get Frankie versus Mike. Josh versus Eddie, still a big matchup. Masha versus Jordynne, which is a big time feel to it. Mia versus Mickey. There's so much, man. Motor City versus OGK. It's still a damn good card so far. So look forward to the victory road is over, but the road to Bound for Glory continues. Check out this Thursday. Check out Craig and Nixon. This Thursday, Talking Bloody Nonsense. Joined by who again?
Alec Burnett, hopefully.
Alec, right, from DOA, right?
Yeah, the Bucker Man.
There you go. And we'll catch up with him as well and check up on Nixon. Send him some love, guys. Thank you. We love you guys. Thank you for subscribing, tuning in, all that jazz. Everyone that lights up the chats, that comments weekly. We love you guys. Mike Bailey, if you're watching, kick this sign. Right? Kick this sign. Or me in the head, depending either way. But either way, guys, thank you for tuning in. Love you. Check out GoGoPowerRankings this Tuesday. It's next on our lineup. Thank you again to Craig. It's been real, man. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been good.
All right. On to next time. Get some sleep. Goodbye, everybody.